Look, I still got mud.
I thought we were supposed to have it high so we look better.
Yeah, but it's not going to help us right now, is it?
You've got mud in your ears. I don't feel like I can.
I got mud in my hair.
Yeah. Okay, so we completed Tough Mudder today. I can't see enough of you.
That's the best.
No, but you're the pretty one.
Not right now.
No, you're the pretty one. Let's have a look at you. Everyone wants to see you. Shannon's not doing that. Right, okay, so we've just completed Tough Mudder. It's like 13 miles full of obstacles over muddy terrain. And when we say mud, we mean manure and mud, don't we?
Yeah.
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 So, okay, so first off, let's tell you about it. We are on the last wave, so we're the last people to go out of like 10,000 people. And there's about 500 people on each wave, but we are late. And so, see, look, you can see us better now.
My arm's tired.
Oh man, you don't do anything with it. So we're really late, and we get to there, and they were like, "Have you got your ID for registering?" Now, didn't have ID. I had some ID in the car, but the big problem with that is that Shannon wasn't who she said she was. Shannon lied, basically. You have to be 18 to do it, and Shannon's not even 17 till next month. So Shannon completely and utterly lied.
No, you lied for me. I didn't lie.
We lied. So basically, we can't prove her age. You're shaking that camera all over.
I can't. My hand's really tired. Can you do it?
Oh man. Right. Can I lean on your leg at least? Ugh. Right. You're right. It's heavy. Right. So, how's that? You're supposed to look prettier from above. So basically, the guy in the end says you got to go over to another tent, sign some waivers, try and prove who you are, and then all of a sudden another guy comes up, like looking at the time, because it's like 13 minutes before the race starts, and you're supposed to be there 20 minutes before. You have a 10-minute warm up and then a 10-minute debriefing about all the rules and safety things and all this sort of stuff, and chanting and things like that. Shannon loves the chanting. And so he just walked up to us and he said, "Are you real people?" Shannon loved that.
I did.
We said, "We are real people." And he says,
that was true.
and he says, Are you who you say you are?" Which wasn't true. I was who I said I was, but Shannon's not who she said she were. I think I just drawn on my leg. I'm overtired. And because we didn't really have any ID, so it was great. So he says, like, "You just got to come through." He's like, "Are you ready to race?" And he looked at us, and we were not ready to race. I had slip-on shoes, and so we had to go back to the car, get all the stuff, and that. I got my blister stuff. What happened to my? I got these 2 blister patches to put on the back of my feet to stop me getting blisters, and that's, to this day I don't know.
You went back for them.
I went back to the car for them because they were that important. And then we started the race, and I looked down, and they weren't in my hands anymore. I don't know what happened to them. So basically,
we're running there, and the GoPro breaks.
So we're running to the start line again, second year running, and the GoPro breaks. This is the camera off the top of my head, so I take all the batteries out and everything. So I'm doing that, and we get to the start line. But before we get to the start line, there's like an 8-foot wall that you've got to jump over. So I throw Shannon over the wall, throw the GoPro over to Shannon, climb over the wall, and start putting the GoPro back together. We can't even we get to the start line, and there is another 5 people, I think, something like that. Maybe, there might be a couple more. At the start line, who also were late, so they won't let us go. Now we've got to have a debriefing. No, debriefing's afterwards. We've got to have a briefing. That's right. We got to have a briefing, and so they're already 5 minutes ahead of us, so now they're over 10 minutes ahead of us, the rest of the people. So he had us down on one knee and we're chanting and all this sort of stuff. And Shannon, she was into it. He was like, "Tough," and she was like, "Mother!" He said, "Give me a hell," and she'd be like, "Yeah!" She was well into it. I was just looking at her. Thought she was an EFY again, or FSY. And so basically, then we sets off, and we got in front of the other ones. But then we were smart and they weren't. There were some big hill climbs and they're trying to run up them, and they slightly went past us, but they were just gonna get stuck. Well, they died. So we took
They
it.
didn't actually die.
Sean.
What were you gonna?
Sean. They're gonna rest in peace. They might have died.
They could have done.
We only saw
but
one
they
of them.
didn't.
We only ever saw one of them
That's
again.
true, actually.
So I think they all died.
It was very dangerous. Some things that happened.
Didn't you think health and safety? We did
There
sign some
was no
waivers
health
that
and
said if we
safety.
died, we
I
can't tell.
nearly died.
You signed it. You signed the sheet. You signed a false name though.
I signed Mum's name. I
Yes.
suppose I did lie.
Because if we could pretend Mum were dead, we could get the life insurance like $500,000.
Yeah, just pretend someone's dead, Dan.
No, we'll have to kill you.
Okay.
What do you think? Right. So anyway, we're not gonna kill her. So anyway, we go setting off. We go for a little bit, and the first bit when it hits you is like you're running down. It's not a problem, and then there's just a river in the way that comes up to you above your waist. Yeah, towards
And
your
at that
chest.
point, going in a river, you're like, oh.
Yeah, this don't feel right. Like, why you want to do that? Yeah, you're still civilized at this point in time. And
It soon goes.
yeah, so you go through, and then you start running. This poor big guy at the side of us who was struggling. Big, a muscly guy, weren't he? But probably a bit too muscly to be running. And so he sets off. We're chasing after people, and then after about 25, we're like, do you think we'll ever see anybody else? As soon as they sat so far in front of us, after about 25 minutes, we started catching a whole lot of people, didn't we? And we started passing some people, so we had to jump over some logs stacked right up, weren't they? But well above our
I
head.
enjoyed that
And then
one.
through some and over some and stuff like that. So, and we started passing some people there, didn't we? And then we carried on running. And then we come to a couple of big walls that were facing against us, weren't we? And I chucked you over them ones. And then come jumping off afterwards. And then we came up to some mud hills. So there's like really big mud hills, and you slide down into mud above your waist. Because of my fear of claustrophobia, I never ever get stuck because my adrenaline kicks right in. Every time it just grabs hold of your feet and you start sucking you in, I just go like the clappers. But Shannon had a problem because she got stuck. And so I started pulling her out, but she lost one shoe, and then she lost the other shoe. Now she found one shoe, and then she's digging around in the mud about over 2 foot deep, weren't it?
So I was getting stuck.
She was getting stuck, so in the end I pulled her out, dragged her to the top of the hill, and then I had to slide back down the hill and go looking for this shoe.
I thought we were mad. What
Yeah,
are you
like-
doing?
And I was almost up to like bicep searching for this shoe, and I found it, and it was just completely and utterly full
So
of
I
mud.
ran
to
for
the
like
top.
half a mile
So
without
we
a shoe.
So we kept going through these mud hills. So I took your shoes off you in the end, didn't you? Yeah. You can't look after them, I'll take them off you. And so I took the shoe off her, and we just kept going. And then like we got back out, and she's like, "Shall I put my shoe back on?" I'm like, "It's full of mud. There's no way you can put that shoe back on whatsoever." I said, "You're just gonna have to run without them for a bit until we get to a river." And
We eventually did.
We eventually got to. You must have run half a mile without any shoes on.
But it was just mud. So.
Yeah. So we got to the river.
By
and
this point, Dad really needed a wee.
No, that wasn't that river. That was a bit
Wasn't it?
later on. That was just a little. This one, remember, was just a little dip in the river that we did your shoes in. Not, and that problem happened when we were on the
Yeah.
big walking round.
That was a really dirty river where we washed my shoes.
It was a really dirty river, but it was cleaner than your shoes. So we got all scooped all the mud out, cleaned all your shoes,
and
got
then
to
my
the
dad
other side.
put my shoes on for me for the first time in like 12 years.
7.
Possibly.
And so I put her shoes back on, dragged her back up, and set off running again. And I was talking around the camera. It's great footage, isn't it?
Oh, it
It's
is.
great footage. And then we got to something called the Arctic Enema, which is my enemy. And because this is just a massive tank, and it is full of ice. It's an ice bath, the whole thing. And you jump in it, and
The
it
ice
comes.
bucket challenge did not prepare us for this.
He did not. The ice bucket challenge is nothing. So it comes up to above your chest, doesn't it? The water,
But
you
then you
jump
have
in,
to go under.
and then you get to some tyres in the middle, and you got to swim under. And we got a problem because as I swam under, the tyres came down, whacked me on the head, knocked my GoPro camera off my head, and it sank somewhere. And I got out the other side. Then my brain weren't working too well, but I just knew how to get Shannon out, and I looked and grabbed all of your arm as you come through, and you get out, and I jumped onto the side of the tank and realised my GoPro camera weren't on me at all. And then, so it's like, decisions, what do you do now? So I decided to jump back in the tank and trying to
My
go.
brain was just starting to come back.
You decided to get out, yeah. So I decided to jump back in the tank and try and search in 5.5 foot water, a massive tank, trying to search for a GoPro camera. So my pulse started racing, and I'm getting freezing cold. My pulse started racing, and then we realised there was a problem. My pulse started going much slower, and I started moving slower, and I was dying really quickly, promptly dying. So we realised we couldn't carry on this way, and so I started searching around with my feet and everything, trying to dive under and try and find it. Realised it's just not happening, so I climbed out of the tank, upset that we lost
He was very upset.
my beautiful GoPro, my GoPro camera 3, and all that footage there sits at the bottom of a tank.
Not even that much of it.
Yeah. Now, we talked to the organisers, and turns out I was one of about 20 people that this to happen to over the day. Hopefully they all happened in the other tank, not in my tank. And basically...
We were saying it would have been funny if you'd looked for it and found someone else.
yeah. But first 45 minutes of somebody else and the next 3 hours. So, anyway, we talked to the organisers afterwards, about 20 people this happened to. They're going to drain the tank. This happens every time. They're going to drain the tank tomorrow. And they're going to send us camera back. I think we're going to have to send a picture of us so they know it's us. For which one's us. So, you will get a video of this for the first 40 minutes or so, something like that. You'll see Shan chanting. My arm's getting tighter and tighter. So, yeah, and then we took off, and then we come to 2 12-foot walls, and so I put Shannon on my hand on my knee, then she climbed on my shoulder, and then she decided to use my head as a stepping stone.
I'm so sorry.
And she got to the top.
It was so scary because there's nothing to hold on to apart from just the top, and your hands are so slippery because of the mud.
Yeah.
That it is actually. I didn't think it'd scare me, but it.
So I quickly got to the other side, and realised obviously you've got a catcher coming down the other side. So I just shouted at a guy, "Oi, get over here!" And
the guys there are great, aren't they?
They just help. Everybody helps everybody. What about the mud? I didn't tell you in the mud where you lost your shoe, where this woman got stuck up to her waist. She sunk up to her waist, so I started pulling her out. So I just dragged her until her whole body twisted round.
Because men trying to help, weren't they? But they were in deep.
They were in deep, and they were just getting more and more stuck. So I were on top. So I started pulling, then I started slipping in, and yeah. So basically, I dragged her until she was sat on top of the mud, but laid on her back. And then I just started dragging her by her arm, underneath her arms and her neck, and dragged her out. She just got out as I pulled her out. She just said, "Thank you," and laid there and closed her eyes. So I just run off.
Tell about the time I saved you.
Oh yeah, another time we just slid down some mud, and I climbed out the other side. Somebody helped me out, and then I helped you get out the other side. So I put my arm down to help this woman up, and started doing it. I started slipping down the hill into the mud again, so I'm going to be back in the mud. And then Shannon just grabbed my arm from behind and pulled us both out, E-Man style. Shira. So, yeah, and then they had some really big walls that we had to climb. You have a rope at the side of it.
But that's it.
And that's it. So you have a rope to pull it with knots in.
The ledges are not.
Yeah, they're about, I don't know, about 4 or 5 inches, 3 or 4 inches. And you have no harness, no nothing. The 30 foot.
Shoes are slippery.
Yeah, you've just gone through all that mud. You get to the top, and then you got to put your leg over. And Shannon put a leg over, put one leg over, and like, I can't do this. That's not your words. I can't do this. I'm like, you've got no choice now. So I have that on live here. And so I said to her, I think I might have lied to you, because I said to her, I can hold you up from here. I was stuck on a 3-inch ledge, how can I hold you up?
I was like, alright then.
So I grabbed hold of you and all around you and pulled you over the wall, and you got down to the bottom, and you were very grateful to get down to the bottom. There were another one where it was like a wall that went straight up and then like up and over, but there's no way you could climb up it. It was just a slippy thing. So you obviously had to get help. So these two big Asian guys were at the bottom, weren't they? And they were like, just stand on our hand, stand on our leg, then stand on our neck.
And I did.
So we did, both of us did, and pushed us to the top, and then two guys were at the top, ragged us up, didn't they? So,
Massive biceps on there.
yeah, they were big fellas, weren't they?
Yeah.
They were like this when they started. Yeah, so that was fairly good. And then after all that mud, then we hit something called Mud Mile, where it's just really big,
But it
thick
lies,
mud.
it's not a mile.
We started off at 7 miles, got to 8 miles, and we're like, great. And then you turn around the corner, and then it went on again for another mile. So Mud Mile over 2 miles. And then I started complaining about needing a wee. Oh, first off, just before that, they gave us some protein bars, and we're like, oh great, a protein bar. We start eating them, and then Shannon with a nut allergy looks at me and says, these have got nuts in, haven't they? I have a funny taste.
I loved it as well. I was so hungry. I just massive bite, and I was like, this isn't right.
No, this weren't right. So basically, we were scared she was going to die.
There were only peanuts, so I didn't.
Yeah, only peanuts, which is the worst nut allergy there is.
Yeah, but
Yours is only mild to that one, isn't it? Yeah, so you didn't die. So basically, we did that, and then we got in. I was moaning for a while about needing a wee, and I said I'm going to have to run into those trees soon. And then we had to get into a river, and we had to walk around this river for ages, didn't we? There's this old guy trying to wash himself in the water, and he's got mud absolutely everywhere. And so as we're walking past, I had to tell him he missed a bit. He's looking all over his bit. He's just completely caked
all
it.
side of his face.
So basically, yeah. So I'm moaning about needing a wee, and as we got halfway, maybe 3/4 of the way around, Shanna says, "I got a secret for you. I don't need a wee anymore."
I'm just glad I was a bit in front of it.
You don't know when I did it. I was smiling the whole time. So then we get to about 10 miles in, and there's just hills up and down these hills.
I mean, we
So-
woke up and then we charged down and
Yeah.
I'm surprised we didn't fall at one point.
So I was feeling not too bad at that point.
Doing well.
Shannon got shaky legs. So I grabbed hold of Shannon's arm and I ran up the hill and just pulled her up the hill. Just giving her a bit of a lift up the hills. But yeah, she started saying, I've got some shaky legs, what's going to happen?
I weren't even tired, but I was just like, what if my legs just give way?
They pretty much...
Kind of did at one point.
They were getting there. And then we saw a sign, didn't we? We was happy we saw a sign. Do you know what we've not put down here? The massive, before the slide, Everest.
Really? Well, that goes without saying.
Right, so obviously there's this one called Everest, and what it is, it's a big ramp and a really big steep hill. So it's like one of those slides that you slide down and then it flattens out at the bottom. But this way you're going to run up it as far as you can, and there's like a ledge, and you go try and grab hold of that ledge, and then big fellas try and drag you over the top. But we were in a big queue, 6 to 8 minutes. We were waiting in this queue,
Held us up, like.
and we were panicking about the stopwatch about the time, because we had to get under 3 hours. Or Shannon had to move out. So under everything. And so basically we're waiting in this queue, and loads of people are just not making it up and falling back down. Hardly any women made it up whatsoever.
They just like tried, but not hard enough.
They didn't
They
really
didn't
commit
commit.
to. No, they didn't commit to
And
it.
then the big men couldn't get up.
No,
They couldn't lift
no, they couldn't. There were big guys at the top, but not that big.
Yeah.
And yeah, so they couldn't get them up. So basically, we said I'd go first, didn't we? So I could be up the top for you. So I went charging up and grabbed on the ledge, and then tried and get my leg over the top and ragged out and pulled
You
over.
just said to me, give it one try. and
Yeah,
then
so I
just
said to
do it.
Shan, I said, listen, we're going to try and make a time. You know, we've got to do it. We've got to do the obstacle. So just have one go at it. And then, basically, I was saying, have one go at it. When you fall down, right, then you'll have to come round. Because obviously you can't do it. And so I got up on the ledge, and I got with the other guy. I told the other guy to leave, didn't I? I moved him on. And so I was the big guy at the top then. And I went down to my waist, all the way down to my waist, so I could lean right down to her, but there's no way. So anyway, she comes charging like a woman possessed, evil eyes and everything. I nearly moved, I was that scared. Thought you were going to come through me. She went charging up this hill, and then all of a sudden I looked down, and she's only got hold of my hand somehow. She's actually made it, and she's actually clinging onto my hand. So I started pulling her. I knew she was coming up at that point because she's only light as a feather. And then another guy grabbed all your other arm. We just dragged her up to the top, and I'm like, "What are you doing here?" So I'm like, we might actually make this.
At this point, everyone behind me apparently.
Yeah.
Was
So at that point in time, Shannon was in the zone, didn't know anything about it.
I was just completely committed to
So at the bottom, waiting to go up there, there's lots of different stations. So there's approximately 200 to 300 people, and they're all going up here. And as Shannon hit the top and dragged her over the top, the whole 200 or 300 people went up in raptures. Way! Started clouting and shouting, and the whole thing kicked off. And Shannon missed her big moment. 15 minutes of fame, and you were too zoned out for it. So then we had to climb right down the other side. And then somebody told us you go that way, and it weren't the right way.
No.
It was this way, but
We lost a couple of minutes
I saw a sign. Yeah, I saw a sign for 11 miles. So like, right, go this way. So we carried on running, and then we came to this to a massive climb. I mean, a massive climb, weren't it? We climbed up on a rope. Yeah, we climbed up a net, and then a rope. Was there? Oh, just a net
Not
with
on that one.
Yeah, just a net, really big net, and then up a massive ladder through a gate to the top. Now this one we had to just jump straight off last year, but it went down a big slide, and then
But at the bottom of the slide,
so it went down
shoots you
straight like that,
upwards.
and then the slide comes upwards like that, so it sends you shooting like that. And so we decided to go together side by side, didn't we? So we went sliding down. I think I might be slightly heavier than you, because I went sliding down much faster, up in the air, hit the water, come back up, and I'm turning around to make sure you've actually come back up again. And I looks round, and Shannon's like, in a bad way.
I swallowed some water, and yeah.
Do you know what the one we didn't say about? The one where you go through the water with a grid.
Oh yeah.
So you have to go like under, it's like almost going like underground, but you're in water that comes up to like either side of your face, to your eyes, and a bit beyond sometimes. And there's like a grid, or like above you, and you use that to pull yourself along, but you're going backwards, so you can't see how far it is.
Yeah.
And it went on
Feels
for
like
absolute
forever.
ever. And so you went first, and I went after you, and but because I'm heavy, I kept pulling the grid down. I kept pulling it into my face. The grid were hitting my forehead the whole time, but because of that, the water then came over the top of my face, and I swallowed. So, I got this big lump of mud in the back of my throat. Now, trying to get it out, and I got halfway and realised there was only one way, and I had to swallow it. So that wasn't pleasant. I didn't feel good after that. When we got out, I said I didn't feel good. So we get down this big slide, hits the water, and I looks over at Shannon, and she's in a bad way. She's swallowed some stuff. She didn't look good. She didn't look healthy at all. So we got to the end and climbed out, and it's like we can see the finish line. It's just there. It's 50
But there's a problem.
50 metres in front of us, but there's a problem. But it's not a big problem, surely. Surely it's not going to be that bad. So there's electric wires dangling down with 10,000 volts in them. But surely it's just volts. They're not going to hurt that bad. So we start charging through, and we're doing all right, aren't we? At first,
Yeah, we're avoiding.
we're getting
them.
through, and then I think I screamed first, like a girl, and one hit me on the back of my shoulders, and like that really kicked, and then really hurt, really hurt, and then I heard Shannon start screaming.
And then he just went, "Get down!"
3 times, and we've both been hit 3 times, and I shout, "Get down!"
It's like being whipped.
So we can crawl. Yeah.
That's like the sort of.
I'd say it's like being kicked by a horse or something. It's like a big sharp bang. And so I said, "Get down." So we start crawling, army throw, and I've got to the end, and I'm like, "Yes, I'm through." So I turned around to see Shannon. Shannon, we really made it, and one hits me on the lower back so hard, the hardest I've ever been hit by one, and it was so much pain. And then we finally got out. Shannon stood up. We grabbed hold of each other's arms, and then we run through the finish line, and we'd finished. And then
Here we go.
Oh, here we go. Come here. And then, so we get through. Shannon's looking rough.
I'm still looking rough.
Yeah, and so we hugged onto each other, and the professional photographer comes up and like, "Do you want a picture taken?" We're like, "Yeah, I definitely want a picture taken." And she's like, "So, are you two a couple?" And I had to explain, this is my daughter, you know. She was very apologetic. I said, no need to be. It's all good. And
And this is when the.
then the real ordeal starts.
Yeah. I doing it. Next time I'll be more prepared. And then I thought, there is no way you can be more prepared for this.
No. And then, so we had to walk back to the car.
By this time, you're absolutely freezing.
We wanted to get back to the car because somebody's lost the GoPro cam. So we wanted to get back to the car and get hold of a camera, take some pictures, do a bit of the filming. And it was a long walk back to the car. We were the very last car, weren't we? Right at the back. Because we came so late. Nobody else would. And they gave us a bottle of water, the finishing line, but we used it to try and clean his hands so we could hold the camera. So we did a bit of videoing and then got some money out of the car and we hid the keys because we had nowhere to put any keys in our pockets or anything. We hid the keys underneath the back wheel. Underneath the
Dad
car.
got up and we were like, yes!
He's still here. So we went back and we said, right, so we went and we had to go back to get washed. And when we say washing facilities, it is a hose pipe. And the first ones we got were just rubbish, nothing, just dribbling out. We finally got a hose pipe, freezing cold water, weren't it?
Yeah.
I don't know how Shan's going to go in the shower because I scrubbed her and that did not move. I think
you won't be able to see on camera, but it's all up my arms.
I think they can, Shan. Look
at my
look at your elbow.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's still all in my hair. It's on here.
It's in her ear.
All
Her ears
over my
are
face.
disgusting.
Yeah.
I think that was from before. Right. So so try and scrub each other down. You were trying to hold on to the money so we didn't wet the money. That were horrible, and everybody's dignity went.
They did. You're walking through, and there's just naked people.
They just came up.
They did.
Just got in the shower didn't they? With a hose pipe. Yeah. Yeah.
The type of people that you never want to see naked. The sort of thing that's gonna scar you.
And
He's a massive fat guy.
You should have seen him before. So
I don't even know if they're finished.
no, started yesterday. So anyway, we did that. We went and got us t-shirts, didn't we? And then we went and got a chip butty. And we walked back to the car to eat it, but we ate it. On the way back, it was just warm, but it was so cold walking back to the car, absolutely freezing.
Yeah.
And then we got back to the car, and obviously we're in these horrible clothes. Even when we've been in a hose pipe, we're still in the... Because we didn't get naked in the showers, did
No.
we? Just to point out, we said no to that. And but that's when we lost our dignity, wasn't it? Because on the way there were just like a woman in a bra, weren't there? And we're like, oh no, what's she doing at the back of a car? But before you knew it, we lost all our dignity, and I think they called it.
Luckily, we were at the back.
We were at the back, and so yeah, and there were a lot of screaming and squealing, and then you were screaming too. And then we got these clothes on that we're in now. Just got really old baggy
so
t-shirts on and
I've
shorts.
got Grandad's jacket.
I went commando. And
He just went, don't come back here, or you'll be scarred for life.
yeah, as I said, I stood at the back of the car and said, "Don't look round this way, or you'll be scarred for life." Don't do
I
it."
already was.
So yeah, we got changed, and I gave Shan some socks. She was happy about that.
Yeah.
And I felt like just putting socks on made me feel like a new man. That was my favourite bit. And we got in the car and we put a heater on, and you ate the rest of your chip butter.
Yeah.
And
yours was long gone.
mine was gone before we made the car. And then we took off on the long road
But
home.
then we made a stop, and that's when we realised that we were in pain.
We're in a bad way. I had to stop to get fuel, and I think that the people in the shop thought I was on drugs or something. Because I got stuff in my hands, and I'm shivering and shaking like mad.
Mud on his face.
Mud on my face, and then my sleeves were rolled up, and I'm trying to bite it like that. Trying to pull my sleeve down.
Also, at one point, I was going to slip into all this mud, so to keep myself from slipping, I grabbed a handful of nettles.
And didn't let go.
No,
And
I had
pulled
to
yourself
pull myself up.
And now you
And
still
then,
get hurt.
a minute later, the pain was gone, and then I got into the car, and I was like, ow!
Has anybody got a dot leaf? So yeah, I'm sure there's loads more stuff that we'll remember about this and some fun stuff. But
Two McDonald's in one day.
but it was real. It was real. I don't think we said it was time.
No, we did not.
Right, so the time for a fit, active man was 3 hours. Now the best thing is when you had some really muscly fit guys, weren't there?
You run past
And
them.
you run past them. And at one point, they started making fun of each other when Shannon ran past them. They started making fun of him. Oh no! Now a girl's past us now. No, it was. They said a woman. You must have looked rough today. They didn't even say girl. They said rough. They said woman. You must have looked bad. And yeah, they were kept sniggering every time Shannon ran past. But we reckon we passed maybe 3,000 people, something like that. Say we start right at the back, start dead last, finish thousands of people in front.
We
So
just
we're very proud
take
of that.
out like hundreds at a time, wouldn't we?
Yeah, we come to them like we're going to have them.
Yeah.
And we were good on the obstacle, especially in the mud. We got good tactics, didn't we? And we finished in 2 hours and 51 minutes. So we're very proud of that. And so next year we got to beat that. Oh, Shannon's to move out. So this is for Shannon's, although she's not 17 till next month. This is like our outing for your 17th, isn't it? I don't mean the whole family. I'm sure we'll take you for a meal or something. But this is mine and your activity, aren't they?
Yes.
So next year we're going back again.
We are.
And
But I get an extra one because it's my 18th.
so 18th. So we're going. Looks like I'm picking your nose.
What is...
Where are we going?
We're going skydiving.
Woo! We're gonna die. So yeah, there's a new program on TV called 50 Ways to Kill Your Mammy. So I'm trying a few ways to kill a daughter. We have fun, don't we? Look upstairs, dude. Yeah. Good night. We're going to bath. I'm going to shower because
You said bath's painful. 'Cause
yeah, my knees
I have a few.
all bleeding. So last time I screamed and squealed like a girl. So this time I think
I've
I'm
had
going
enough squealing like a girl today.
yeah.